Open your phone, search for ways to make extra money, and you are instantly flooded by an overwhelming volume of conflicting advice. One influencer argues for automated digital arbitrage systems using AI. The next scroll claims the only real money is in the high-margin world of physical labor, like bin washing or junk removal. This chart shows the search volume for the term side hustle over the last 3 years. Interest has essentially tripled, as more people look for alternative income now than at any point in recent history. This massive abundance of options usually results in a loop of endless research that never turns into a single dollar of actual revenue. An accountant spending their weekends hauling junk, or a plumber trying to build AI agents usually encounters the same wall. The struggle comes from the friction of forcing a business model onto the wrong set of personal constraints. A sustainable income sits at the intersection of 3 circles: what you love, what you're good at, and what the market pays for. When your constraints, time, capital, and skill, fail to align with the business, those circles pull apart. You burn out before reaching profit. We can categorize the most viable 2026 opportunities into 3 dominant archetypes: the B2B skill builder, the tech arbitrager, and the local pragmatist. Matching your unique unfair advantage to one of these specific archetypes is the only way to move past the hype and find a model that actually lasts. The B2B skill builder focuses on service-based roles targeting business owners. This includes specialized direct response copywriting, optimizing digital platform workflows, or editing high-retention video. This path requires an immense upfront investment of effort. You must spend hundreds of hours acquiring a professional-grade skill, followed by months of daily cold outreach to acquire clients. This matrix tracks the demands of each path. The B2B skill builder requires high time and skill, but low capital. The outcome is stable, recurring revenue. The trade-off is a punishing learning phase, working for months with 0 revenue. This model is built for those who can tolerate that early friction in exchange for highly reliable long-term income. The tech arbitrager leverages automation and AI to scale without human labor. They build bespoke AI agents, run digital dropshipping operations, or sell AI-generated artwork. Sellers use AI workflows to replicate this vintage Marlboro aesthetic, turning cultural nostalgia into digital posters that sell by the thousands on Etsy. Success in this archetype requires extreme digital fluency. You must constantly adapt to emerging platforms and invest capital into a revolving door of monthly software subscriptions. Looking at our matrix, the outcome here is pure leverage. Once live, an automated system scales infinitely without adding labor. The trade-off is global competition. With no geographic barriers, you fight a global market, leading to compressed margins. This path is for operators willing to accept a high rate of project failure and extreme global competition in exchange for infinite digital reach. The local pragmatist stays offline, focusing on unsexy physical labor like junk removal, pressure washing garbage bins, or flipping physical goods. This includes specialized physical arbitrage. Operators buy used heavy machinery, like this John Deere tractor, locally, then export them internationally, where the brand commands a premium. The inputs are strictly physical. You need physical stamina, access to a vehicle or trailer, and the ability to communicate directly with local clients. On the matrix, the outcome is speed. You get immediate cash and enjoy near 0 local competition. The trade-off is a hard ceiling on growth. Revenue is strictly bound by your physical location and the hours you can personally work. There is a visceral appeal to this work. Blasting away grime from a driveway provides a satisfying, tangible result digital work rarely offers. The local pragmatist sacrifices automated global scale to secure high-margin, immediate cash flow in their own backyard. The most effective path reveals itself once you identify your most restrictive personal constraint. This flowchart maps out the decision based on the resources you lack: time, capital, or tech skills. If you have 0 starting capital and erratic hours, but high digital fluency, the flowchart routes you directly to the tech arbitrator. In this branch, you must be prepared to treat every digital project as a low-cost experiment, moving on quickly from the ones that fail to gain traction. If you are tech-averse but you have weekend availability and a vehicle, the decision tree points you straight to the local pragmatist. You give up your Saturday mornings to manual labor, but the reward is guaranteed cash in your pocket by Sunday night. Finally, if you have professional communication skills and can dedicate 2 hours of focused study every day, you are routed to the B2B skill builder. This requires surviving the friction of sending cold emails and proving your value to a business long before they ever agree to pay you. Searching for a universal best side hustle is a flawed strategy because every model carries its own specific burden. Success in 2026 is about identifying the specific type of friction, whether it's cold outreach, hard manual labor, or global competition, that you are most willing to endure. Matching a business model to your intrinsic unfair advantage is the only reliable way to build an income that actually lasts.
Mass layoffs have proved one thing. The safety of a single corporate income stream is a total illusion. We are just numbers on a spreadsheet. To protect yourself in 2026, you need flexible, alternative streams of income that you actually control. So today, we are going to build a zero-inventory remote service business from scratch. You will not need a warehouse, inventory, or an expensive camera setup. If you have a basic laptop and an internet connection, you have everything required to secure your first client by next week. We will execute this in 3 precise steps. First, identify a highly profitable niche. Next, build a clean digital workspace to manage leads. Finally, use a proven outreach script to land a client in 7 days. Relying on a single employer leaves you completely exposed to sudden market shifts and downsizing. Taking immediate active control over how you generate income is the only reliable way to insulate yourself from those risks. Step 1 is deciding exactly what kind of remote work you want to pursue. For most beginners, this comes down to a choice: offering a direct service to business owners or building an audience through content creation. Supplying B2B services, like specialized virtual assistants, is the fastest route to your first paycheck. Local businesses are swamped with massive administrative tasks, and they have an urgent daily need for operational help right now. This timeline chart shows why content creation is a much slower path. The bottom track represents building a personal brand. It flatlines for months, requiring endless unpaid effort before the algorithm picks you up and revenue starts curving upward. It has a high long-term ceiling, but it requires deep patience. Looking at the top track, you can see how B2B services offer immediate stability. Because you are solving an existing problem for a business owner, revenue spikes can appear in a matter of days. The barrier to entry is extremely low. If you have a massive runway of savings, content creation is a viable path. But if you need immediate momentum and actual cash in your pocket, specializing in a B2B service is the superior strategic choice. The trap most beginners fall into is offering generic, undefined help. If you market yourself as a generalist who can answer emails or do basic data entry, you force yourself to compete with global workers on low hourly rates. To command premium pricing, you must become a platform setup specialist. Instead of doing a little bit of everything, you decide to master the specific workflows of one single software tool. For example, busy executives are eager to pay someone to organize their messy digital workspaces using tools like Notion or ClickUp. Alternatively, you could learn Buildium and offer virtual bookkeeping tailored strictly to real estate companies. This UI mockup of a freelance marketplace illustrates exactly what this looks like in practice. Notice this specific gig offering, ClickUp setup. Because this freelancer has strategically specialized in one organizational tool, they can charge $250 for a single straightforward project. You can apply this exact same specialization to visually driven software. Business owners desperately need social media content, but lack the time to film it. You can step in as an expert AI content strategist, mastering creation tools like HeyGen to solve their marketing bottlenecks. With a tool like HeyGen, you can take a basic static headshot of a business owner and prompt the software to generate 60-second educational videos. You deliver fully produced, highly produced marketing assets directly for them without anyone ever stepping in front of a camera. Mastering a single software platform removes you from the race to the bottom. You transition from a replaceable hourly assistant into a highly paid consultant solving precise revenue problems. Working entirely from home requires strict digital discipline. Without a manager looking over your shoulder, it is incredibly easy to lose track of conversations, miss follow-ups, and drop valuable leads. To prevent operational chaos, you need to build a Kanban board. This visual project management system allows you to track every single client interaction, from the first email to the final payment. This visual mockup shows the 4 mandatory columns your board needs.
First, prospects, for businesses you want to target. Next, pitched, for those you have already contacted. Then active clients, for ongoing work. And finally, invoiced, to track your incoming revenue. Implementing this exact visual tracking system ensures no opportunity slips through the cracks. It separates serious, scalable business operators from disorganized hobbyists. A live organizational board means nothing if it stays empty. The primary reason beginners fail is that they get stuck in endless loops of research and tutorial videos without ever pitching a real client. Step 1 of your outreach is to identify 20 local or USA-based small businesses that have a clear operational gap. Look for outdated websites, disorganized social media, or processes needing a software upgrade. Once you have your targets, use the goodwill strategy. Offer to complete one small project, either heavily discounted or completely free. This allows you to prove your value without asking the business owner to take any financial risk. This email mockup contains the exact script you will send. Keep it direct. Write, "Hi name, I noticed your system could use an upgrade. I would love to do one project completely free to prove my value." Offering a free trial project is a strategic marketing investment. By removing the financial risk, you demonstrate your expertise and establish the trust required to sign a recurring, high-margin contract. As you acquire first clients, you must avoid the trap of trading your time for money indefinitely. Hourly billing caps your income based on how long you can physically stay awake. Once you successfully complete a goodwill trial and the client is absolutely thrilled with the result, immediately pitch a transition. Offer to manage that specific software platform for them on a premium flat-rate monthly retainer. Alternatively, you can structure your pricing around a base fee combined with a performance bonus. If your video editing or copywriting measurably increases their views or sales, you negotiate a contract to capture a percentage of that upside. This graph illustrates the financial impact of that shift. The bottom line shows hourly wages, growing at a slow, flat, linear pace. The top line shows the exponential curve of charging a retainer or performance bonus, where your revenue scales regardless of the hours you log.
True remote freedom is achieved when you stop billing for your time. By decoupling your income from the clock and tying it directly to the value you provide, you build a highly scalable, sustainable business. You now possess a complete framework. You know how to select a specialized software niche, you have the structure for a live Kanban board, and you possess a proven outreach script to bypass client skepticism. All of this information is useless if you do not apply it. I challenge you to stop passively consuming content, open your email, and send your very first cold pitch today. To solidify that commitment, scroll down and drop your selected software niche in the comments below. Put your intention out there and hold yourself accountable. Understanding these pathways is the foundation, but security in 2026 requires moving from consumption to execution. Follow the blueprint and start building.